And the worst part was, I didn't even realize. I thought I was bullet journaling correctly, but I've been bullet journaling since the end of 2016, and I've only recently realized that I've been doing it wrong. While some people say there is no wrong way to bullet journal, and I can appreciate the sentiment behind that, there's actually a fair few ways that you can be bullet journaling wrong, but they really come back to two things. One, you're doing something in your practice that means you aren't coming back to your journal, or two, your bullet journal practice isn't aligned with your bullet journal's purpose. I hit both of those nails on the head, so let's have a look. Consistency in bullet journaling is a big issue for a lot of us, and I struggle with this too. Even though I know how beneficial my bullet journal can be, I've still had periods where I struggle to get in and use it. If we're doing things in our bullet journal practice that means we're not coming back to it, not using it, then we're doing something wrong. So what was I doing with my bullet journal that meant I wasn't coming back to it? The first issue was not picking the right stuff for the season. This is kind of like a battle of overwhelm versus boredom. Either there were months where I had a lot of stuff going on, and then I let my bullet journal just pile on top of that by including way too many things to keep track of, or there'd be months where less stuff was going on, but I just set up the same old in terms of spreads, so I'd get bored with my bullet journal. Both of these things would lead me to not using it, which is how I was bullet journaling wrong. The second issue I had here was not paying attention to my energy and motivation cycles. I've noticed that come Thursdays and Fridays, my energy is way lower than other points in the week. So on those days, I'm less likely to use my bullet journal in general, but I didn't have anything in my journaling system that actually lent into that, or accounted for those slumps in energy. Similar idea with motivation. I find that for the last third of a month, my motivation takes a nosedive. Same idea with the last month in any bullet journal. That last month in that journal just is never as good as any other month in the journal. Both energy cycles and motivation cycles have a very big impact in how much I use my journal, but I wasn't accounting for those in my practice. The third issue that led to me not coming back to my journal is thinking that I could make my peace with ugly layouts. If you're anything like me, making your journal look good makes you more likely to come back to it. So if it doesn't look good, I don't come back to it, surprisingly enough. When it comes to my ugly layouts, or the ones that I didn't like the look of so much, it would have made so much more sense to either reset them up or really genuinely fix the mistakes that led them to looking not so great. But instead, I thought, it'll be fine, you can make your peace with this. No, I didn't. The second way that I've been bullet journaling wrong though is not aligning my practice with my purpose. So what is my bullet journal's purpose? Well, long story short is that I want my journal to help me get more stuff done. I want it to help me be productive without killing myself, without sacrificing my wellness or my well-being. I want to set and achieve my goals. I want to get more done in less time so that I have more time for the other stuff in life that matters. I want my journal to be a place that I can rely on to capture information to free up my mental space for other stuff. Brains are made for having ideas, not for holding them, so I want to be able to pass those ideas onto my journal so that I can process them at another time. Was my practice aligned with my purpose though? Well, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that I was doing an excellent job of recording what I needed to do in there. Over the years, I've been able to use my bullet journal to break down complex goals and projects in ways that makes them manageable and thus get them done. I was able to run a YouTube channel at the same time as being a full-time teacher. So productivity-wise, my bullet journal was crushing it. But no, it was not aligned with my purpose in that my purpose was productivity without sacrificing well-being. And my well-being was taking a hit. This was especially evident when I was a teacher, because running a YouTube channel can be hard, being a teacher is hard, and doing both at the same time is oof. It got to a point where I was just in tears more often than I'd like to admit, because overwhelm was just ever present. My bullet journal was doing most of what I wanted it to be, was holding all of those tasks, the never-ending to-do lists, but my practice didn't fully align with my purpose. And the worst part was, I didn't even realize. I thought I was bullet journaling correctly, but writing down tasks and getting things done isn't enough. My purpose, productivity without sacrificing well-being, wasn't being fulfilled by my practice, which was effectively like an everyday I'm hustling kind of mentality. That brings us to the question, what led to this though? Why was it that my purpose and my practice were misaligned like this? According to Ryder Carroll, creator of the bullet journal method, bullet journaling is a mindfulness practice disguised as a productivity system. Well, obviously the disguise was too good because you had me fooled. I was nailing the productivity. Not so much the mindfulness. The mindfulness aspect mainly comes from the reflection part of the bullet journal method, or the part where we actually take the time to consider what we're doing and whether it's aligned with what we want in life. Does this task actually take me closer to where I want to go? Doing a good job on a task that wasn't actually important to begin with feels like such a betrayal. It doesn't feel like a waste of time, but it is. It's kind of funny that this was the part that I was failing on in my bullet journaling because I love reflection. It's more that I just wasn't doing it in the way the method describes. Is that a bad thing? I'm not too sure because there are other types of reflection that I've been doing, but I do think that if I hadn't missed that key aspect of the practice, I would have realized a lot sooner that what I was doing wasn't leading me to where I wanted to go. It can essentially be summed up as I was using a bullet journal, I wasn't doing the bullet journal method. That's because the method actually has two parts. It has the system, which I was crushing, and it has the practice, which I was neglecting. That kind of begs the question though, what is the bullet journal method? What does a mindfulness practice disguised as a productivity system actually mean? And what are these two sides, the system and the practice? Well, we cover all of those things in this video here, so click or tap on that one and I'll see you over there.